So today I'm going to show you guys how to make a new beat, but first I gotta get my hair cut. Okay, so apparently they don't have any time available until 2, even though it says walk-ins welcome. So we're gonna have to just make beats with messy hair today. Alright, so the dishes are done, and now it's time to go ahead and start making a beat. So the first thing you gotta do is you gotta open up FL Studio, because that's where I make all my beats with. And you gotta also make sure that your speakers are turned on. When I make a beat, I'm just trying to make, sometimes there's no real right or wrong way to make a beat. Sometimes I start with a sample, sometimes I start with a loop, sometimes I just make the whole thing from scratch, sometimes I start with a melody. But today what I'm going to do is I'm trying to make a classic kind of feel-good, fun, funky vibe for just a beat. And so I'm going to go ahead and start with some loops and maybe try and feel one out. You also got to pick your tempo. So I'm probably going to go a little, let's hear some loops and then we might pick a tempo. Pretty slow. Don't like that one. I'm looking for something a little bit more classic, not so much clubby. So this one is the one I like the most out of just the loops that I have for inspiration here. And we're gonna have to speed that the heck up because it's too slow. So I'll just take it out here, put it onto my timeline here. Ooh, too fast. Still a little fast. Yeah. Now we're kind of feeling it. So now what I've done is just kind of copy and pasted that same loop over and over again. Just trying to... Alright, so now I'm going to add my own beat on top of this one so that we can build the song. So like it might start off with like this, and now this is what I do a lot. I do this all the time. It starts off with a beat, but it's like filtered out. And then, you know, now the filter is gone and we start the verse. And then after the verse, there's also an extra beat on top of that. It kind of just builds up. And so I'm going to make the extra part now and then play around with the rest later. First thing we have to do is find a kick for our build. And so all these electronic kicks, that's not what I'm feeling. Like to go with this, it's very classic kind of feeling. So I'm going to try and find a classic kind of kick. Yeah, this one says acoustic. And so generally what I do is, these are all like preset sounds, and what I'll do is I'll take the preset sound and make it into a sound that I want, so that I'm not starting from scratch. Now I know how to start from scratch and build my own bass sounds and stuff, and it's fine, but why? I don't know why I would do that. I can find something else like this and then just make it sound how I want it to sound. It's a lot less work that way, in my opinion. Alright, so now I've kind of completed what I've had for our add-on. So I'm going to play that drum loop again. We got... And this is what I've added on to it. So what I did was I just added added a kick to give it another like little feel. I gave it a hi-hat, just like one every 2 beats, and then put a snare in there, another snare, and then a crash cymbal. And then what I found this really kind of cool sound I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to add that for another layer eventually. So we'll see how that goes. So the next thing that we're going to do in building this kind of classic funky beat is every funky beat, now that we got a kind of funky groove going up, boom, 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 we're going to add some bass. And picking the bass is very important, especially for any kind of funky beats or whatever. So we're going to spend a little bit of time on this, trying to come up with a pretty cool line. And I'm thinking something major in the major areas. So I'm not going to use too many fancy notes, not going to use too many fancy chord progressions. Something a little basic with a groove that's going to make you feel happier. So what I'm looking for in a bass is something that's got a little bit of tone to it, and a little bit of an attack, but it's also still mostly kind of smooth. So like, that's too heavy. Like, you know, funny bass too. Oh, by the way, I'm using Nexus. This is one of my favorite plugins. I know you can't see it because, I mean, I'm recording this on my phone, but... Ooh. This is not bad. So, like... That's not the riff I'm going to use, but it doesn't sound too bad. Lazy bass. I'll have to remember that one. And so, I'm doing the same thing I was doing earlier with the drums. Is I'm just trying to find the right preset to alter. Oh, by the way, I'm using my MIDI keyboard to make some beats. So I laid down my bass track, just kind of recording it with the MIDI controller, and this is how it sounds as of right now. And you can tell I'm hitting the right notes, but the way the delay works in the computer, I'm not hitting the right timings. But there's an easy way to fix this. All you have to do, just double click this, boom, now we're in the piano roll. I hit that shift Q, and now it's on the right notes. It's absolutely crazy. It's crazy. And now, I might have to go in and edit like the exact timings, because the computer can still be dumb. Like that one. But it actually did really good. Generally, I have to edit quite a few notes, but it did it pretty good. So, now we got our like normal bass line. So now I added just some layered sub bass, which just kind of hits the tonic of the notes of the chord. So A and E for this one. Okay, also don't forget to save your song. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to call it, what should I call it? I don't know. Happy beat. Happy nose. Alright. Because this is one for the boys. One thing I was trying to find, like maybe some cool horns, but I found this kind of chill, gated synthesizer. And that can, with the filter going in and out, that could be really fun. I'm gonna add some like horns. I'm gonna find those right now. So now I added some horns to make it a little bit more triumphant feeling. Because right now, you still don't know what you're feeling, and then it comes in. Very triumphant. And so this would be a great, like, into a chorus. Because, like, this is, like, still pre-chorus area. And then it kind of drops down into, like, a chorus. Maybe with some piano. Let's figure it out. So now I've added some piano chorus. And, but it's kind of, it changes the mood of the song a little bit. So I want to add some more like a horn pad during the chorus, and that's what I'm going to do next. Alright, so let's see what I have made up here. And this is kind of putting it all together. Now I haven't mixed or mastered any of it. So it's not going to sound amazing, but I want you guys to get a feel for the gist of what I'm going for here. So here we go. And the finished track is going to sound a lot different than this, I'm sure. But this is just a good starting point, you know what I mean? I might add a bridge later, because right now there isn't a bridge, and, you know. But generally what I'll do is copy and paste what we have here multiple times, and then add subtle differences and influences in each kind of thing, maybe different sound effects, but still with the similar uniformity. Or different instruments in and out, you know, just to get a little unique feel, and depending on what vocals we have. So here we go. Focus on me, please. So that's it. That's the gist. I think it sounds pretty good. It's a little, it's not as funky as I wanted it to be, but it definitely is happy and has a good, nice vibe, triumphant type of vibe to it. So I think it'll be fun to rap on, and I'm excited to get the homies in on it. It should be a good time. So next week, or the week after that, sometime soon, is Alex's spring break, and we're going to record the rest of the album that we've been working on, and then probably record some promotional material for that. So you guys be ready for that. Yeah, so this is the gist of how I generally would make a beat. And if you want any more ideas or concepts, you just let me know, and we'll make some videos. All right, stay frosty, guys. Now that feels a lot better.